Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 5, Episode 12, where we watch Marrying Millions, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
I'm Brian Houston.
Maxing Millions.
No singer.
Welcome. If this is your first time, each week we watch a different reality show. We watch one episode and we kind of go over in great minutia detail on whether the episode is good or bad and everything in between.
One each week, a new one.
Noah, give us the show description for Marrying Millions.
Take an incredibly wealthy individual, throw in a romance with someone from the opposite end of the income scale, and what do you get? A docu-series that explores whether love and happiness can truly exist between a member of the champagne and caviar set and someone more accustomed to a life of, say, canned beer and ramen noodles. Deeply in love and hoping to marry, but from completely different worlds, the couple's profile to attempt to bridge their vast differences and fit into each other's alien worlds while enduring the intense scrutiny of suspicious family members and friends who believe their relationships are anything but a modern-day fairy tale. That is Marrying Millions on Lifetime.
Thank you, Mr. Noah. So, Max, what is it really?
This is every odd. I've realized there's a genre of show we've seen, which is sort of the odd couple dating or marrying show. You know, there is 90 Day Fiance, where one of them is from another country, and there is Age Gap Love, I believe, is the name of one we watched.
Oh yeah.
Where one is older, and in this one is richer.
I mean, you're totally right, Max. It's definitely there's definitely a genre of TV that is just people getting married, and then you need some sort of hook to get them in, and it's usually a out of the corner relationship,
Fish out of water,
fish out of water relationship. So I wonder, going to one of our questions is what are the parents to this reality show? And I don't know enough about the history of all these reality shows, really know, but the one you mentioned is definitely probably in there.
Age Gap Love and what's the other one?
90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance. Yeah,
90
for
Day
example.
This is definitely 90 Day Fiance kind of show.
We got to go way, way back. A
Whoa.
story of a couple with families that disapprove of their relationship.
If he's going to say Shakespeare...
If you're really going to go back to where this stems from...
No, there are older parents... There are older stories that revolve around the same thing.
Like what?
Beowulf?
Is it really?
No,
I never heard of Beowulf. Maybe.
Absolutely not.
Isn't Beowulf a tome? Where it's huge, right?
The Odyssey, the Bible, maybe. We can go back. We'll go back to pre-written times.
I don't think any of them have this story.
All right, we're moving on.
Well, wait. Can I also throw in a mix, maybe the great-grandparent, The Simple Life?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Man, I was
Fish
thinking
out of water.
See, I was thinking The Simple Life too, but there's nothing about dating. It's just Paris and Nicole
Richie
trying to live in the simple life. It's
That's why I'm saying great-grandparent. It's a little distant cousin of throwing it out of there.
I think it's more connected to the dating game than that show.
I don't know.
Because it's about dating and people getting along. I don't know.
Well, this is a distant thing. Dating game is probably grandparent.
Great-great-great-great-grandparent.
I don't know, because the dating game, you're being randomly in quotes assigned someone, even though you can choose from selection. These people are finding each other, quote unquote, naturally or just outside the show. The show is just putting a spotlight.
But you watch the dating game and this game for the same reason.
But this isn't a game.
I know, but you're watching just these couples and see how they get along in these two different worlds. That's the same thing. On a high level, on the highest level, you're watching them for the same reason. On a conceptual level, you're right. There are definitely very big differances between the two. That's why I'm they're great, 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 great grandparents, and not direct siblings at this point. Anyway, let's get to this show. So this is Seattle month, everyone. So let's start with the Seattle couple. So each, there was 3 or 4 couples in this episode. So we'll just jump right to the Seattle couple. We have, apparently I didn't catch her name.
Nani or
Noni.
Noni?
Okay.
Noni, yeah, Noni Cream. That's her name, or Noni Creme. Creme is her name.
So we got Noni. She's 48. She is dating Reese Record, which is 30.
Reese Record.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about the two of them.
So Noni was born in Houston. She owns a beauty brand business. or
3 of them.
Multiple.
Yeah.
She has 3 homes, one in London, one in Manhattan, one in Seattle. She currently lives in Seattle. Reese is an arborist. He's a skater musician guy that's semi-unemployed.
It is so funny that she found a musician, skater, lumberjack in Seattle. This guy is so like 90s Seattle. It's very good.
Yeah, born and raised in Seattle, and he never left. His mind is just directly Seattle.
There is one piece of him that I just need to talk about immediately. He's also a drummer, and one of the cymbals for his drum set is just like taped to a ceiling or something. Mm-hmm. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, so they've been dating for do we know how long they were dating for? We don't know.
I don't
This
believe
is
so.
like, honestly,
Yeah.
we didn't learn a whole lot about this couple in this episode.
Seriously, they had so much less time than all the others.
Yeah.
Their thing was like she wants to hang out more, and like she wants him to meet her friends, and he was like, "They're judgmental assholes. Why do I want to live? Why do I want to meet them?" Like to her face.
Before he gets into specifics, she's like, hey, I think it'd be really cool if you met all of my friends. And he's like, do I have to, though? She's like, yeah, I think it'd be really beneficial. He's like, is that, do I have to, though?
Very quintessential Seattle.
It's so funny.
Very much like, yeah, we'll be there, but then when they get home and think about it, like, no, I don't really want to do that. No, we're just not doing that. But then never say that you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
This is a private Seattle conversation.
Only the hottest Seattle takes here. Is there anything else about them?
No, I mean,
Noah's ex used to work for Nani Cream.
Butter London. Yeah. But I'm looking at like their Instagrams. I'm like trying to go deep into the corner. I think one thing that's interesting about Noni, so she's a mom, right? She was married for 20 years or so.
Sure.
22 years, she said.
Yeah, 22 years. So like she's been around the block, but like they don't really talk about that, at least in this episode. Like
Not at all.
Reese like being a stepdad, and I don't know if he would like take that in stride. The guy with the symbol like plaster crafted to his ceiling may not adapt to that.
I mean, I don't think that she really cares for him to be the stepdad. Like, who knows how old these kids are? You know,
I can tell you.
They could be grown up.
No, the daughter looks like she's like probably around 12, give or take. So it's like still need someone there.
Well, do they live with the mom or the dad?
It seems like they come by the mom a lot. So it looks like there's actually 2 kids. Like there's enough Instagrams like recently. None of them are location tagged, so you can't really tell what's happening. But I think they live nearby.
I'm already bored. Anyway,
this
the
has
last
been the
thing,
internet stalking corner. Thank you.
You gotta go deep.
The one thing that I liked was like they kept showing Nani at her house, and it was like you just got a beautiful view of Seattle. So I assume that's her house in Queen Anne,
Yeah.
and with her view of Seattle.
Gotta be.
I'm thinking it's a damn like just plastered on the back. Like I think it's fake.
It
as
looks
hell.
too nice, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you were rich, that would be where you would live.
But I also think about like how 80% of the year here is in Seattle, and I don't think they filmed in the summer. Like,
Maybe I don't know, CG.
I mean, shows usually take a year to come out.
Yeah, you're just waiting for that shot here. Like the
So-
weather's so unpredictable.
I'm gonna say it is real. The reason being, they also show a shot of like a street and a car pulling out, and that shot was the same weather. It was like a clear blue sunshine day. So unless they're putting a lot of time getting that B-roll, I'm gonna say it's the same.
I don't know. I was also like kind of looking for the clouds to move. Like I got to go back and like to look at the tape, but I don't think that thing was real. I think that the car is real though.
What do you think about the moon landing?
Very fake.
All right, let's move
I'm gonna
on.
say, well, wait, just close. I'm gonna send Nani a DM. I'll find out
Oh my
if
God.
it was real or not.
Hi, person I saw on a reality show. Where do you live? Sincerely, Noah Singer.
I can't believe that many people are DMing these folks. So I'm
That's
gonna
why
take my
they're
shot.
on these shows.
She only
Jim.
has 4,600 followers. So like, I mean, I don't think a lot of people are DMing.
All right, we'll move on. Let's talk about the Dallas couple.
Okay.
We got
Oh,
Bill, 61, commercial real estate tycoon. Brianna, 22, retired hostess.
Retired hostess.
Wait, is it retired already?
Yeah.
But I think it was supposed to be a joke.
Okay, yeah.
That's like her title card says retired hostess.
Yeah.
So, AKA, she's not doing anything.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, we all know what this relationship is.
Yeah. Take it away, Chris.
Just, old guy gets young wife gets money from the old guy. Like, it's kind of tit for tat as long as they sign up for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when people are in some way there's a big power dynamic structure that like can be troublesome. Like sometimes you don't know if like your parents or family are pushing for this because then they get the some of the money and power along with it too, which is definitely can happen.
This one was not a great situation, IMO.
Yeah.
It seemed okay. Like it seemed like she's the one choosing it.
Yeah, they're both.
There wasn't anyone. Didn't seem like anyone was pushing her for it. Seemed like people were trying to pull her away.
They're
Like,
both game
Yeah.
for this. Yeah. I just like. It's so clearly not for love.
Yeah, Chris, you actually brought up something like while we were watching, like about grooming, and it still kind of feels like it's not that level, but it's still pretty bad because it's like, oh yeah, like you're still young in like the relationship dynamic.
Bill
like,
is a fucking weirdo, and he keeps saying like, "Haha, you're 22. It's legal now." No, first of all, that's off by a year. But second of all, he keeps only talking about how young she is.
yeah, that's definitely like leading to the grooming situation
Yeah.
even more.
I'm gonna throw up a flag there. Like he does mention it. I think I think the editing plays into there. I think out of all the footage, he probably jokes about it occasionally because like he realizes what's happening. I'm gonna bet that he doesn't say it as frequently as portrayed on the show.
He probably doesn't because who would say that constantly? Like, well, but then again, like also this is just a crazy ass situation, and even with editing, like he's still saying it.
Yeah. Dude's vibes are kind of weird. Now, in his defense, it is her birthday, so age is going to come up, but like he says it a lot, editing or not.
I don't necessarily agree with that. It's grooming, but who knows what the definition of grooming really is?
It's not grooming in that like, oh, like I'm training you for something. It's like, hey, like I'm taking advantage of like your
It wasn't like, hey, you're 15 and like hitting on them constantly and trying to get more and more attention from them until they turned a reasonable age. Whereas like it was 21, they've been a relationship just happened. It wasn't like that kind of situation, but like it seems like she's choosing this thing. It's not like obviously she gets a lot more out of this than I think that the standard relationship would be.
So, for the listeners who don't know exactly what grooming is, and also me projecting,
should we go to the?
Can you
Should we go to the Wikipedia definition of grooming? Like I don't know.
Well,
I can't
just like off the cuff.
I just said like when you get an impressionable kid and then groom them to like you in a specific way, to in a sense try to date them before they are like of an age that can make that kind of decision, and they've kind of now grown into it and learned this position while they were growing up, instead of like making this decision at the proper age.
That is a good definition. Yeah.
Is it specific to like sexual relationships, or is it broadly?
I mean, the grooming term is mostly sexual, I think.
Got
But
it.
like to say that you like we groom, everyone is groomed into a specific thing. Like
Sure.
we're all groomed into America. We're all groomed in terms of like how our society raises kids. But we don't use the term grooming to do
Right.
that. That's just like you're going to school and you're learning these things. Like it's like very different like connotations there.
Yeah, makes sense.
So anyway, their big thing was that they threw Brianna a birthday party for her 22nd birthday. And the big drama was that Bill wanted the ex-wife there, which is unclear really why. Like, I have a feeling it was more for like the kids were invited, and if the kids are invited, then she is invited. But the show just cuts that out and makes it seem even weirder that the ex-wife was just invited. Because like, if they have kids and the kids are involved, then the ex-wife needs to be generally needs to be involved. But at the end of the day, it's her birthday, so like she doesn't need to be involved. Like, just can you drop the kids off? But I don't know. I don't really care. But that's the drama that they tried to make up for the show.
I mean, wasn't it also like a little bit about her family, like finally, like meeting everybody too?
Well, there was definitely some family intermingling. Her family and his family and friends, or both family and friends, intermingling in one party, I guess might be the first time.
Yeah, that was one thing I thought, because there was also a lot of talk about like, yeah, I've never really experienced this in my life. This is insane.
Yeah, so the dad was there looking styling.
Hell yeah.
He had a nice chain, all dressed in black, and he had a confessional. And it was amazing. It was like, I don't know how to act. I don't know what's going on. It was great. One of the highlights.
Have you ever
of the
been to a
episode.
party like this? Nah, man.
Why would I? It was pretty good.
Yeah, I think though, and you mentioned like how these types of relationships where there's like a 40-year age difference, the power dynamic is different, and that's I think like struck me the most. And maybe there was some like hamming up for the camera. It's her birthday, yet literally half the people there are his age in their 60s for a 22-year-old's birthday party. Like,
It's so odd.
what's going on there?
Oh yeah. So Max, when you were talking about like the whole like she's 22, forgot about how she was wearing like this white kind of like power suitish, but like with her belly was open. But then he like showed her bra and like took off like the top. Like
He's like, everybody, look at her
just-
bra. It's so sparkly.
it was.
Yeah, Noah, we're going to revoke your defense that he's not creepy. He's definitely creepy.
Yeah, I forgot about that bra. Oh my god, that was. Oh,
I'm not saying he's not necessarily not creepy. So I'm gonna say yes, he does have an edge of creepiness to him. It was just the consistency of like, hey, she's 22, I'm 61. Come on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Everyone
That's
knows it's kind of messed up. But everyone will tell both of them, and if they both agree to it, then like there's nothing else you can do.
No.
And it seems like that's what people have already done. So like
Yeah. I do wonder, they didn't go this how they met. I'm putting my money they met on a sugar daddy site. Like they both are like very open eye to what's going down.
yeah, probably.
No,
I thought you were gonna say strip club, but that also works.
She may have been the hostess at a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
She was ex-hostess.
That's true.
Should we move on to our next couple?
DC.
We got LA and DC. We got Desiree from LA. She's a nonprofit. She's 46.
She is not a nonprofit.
She is a nonprofit. She works at a nonprofit.
She is
She's originally from New York City,
The
Brooklyn.
BK.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Brooklyn. And then we got Rodney. He's the founder of some wine business, wine entrepreneur. He's 53. and he currently lives in D.C. and owns a lake house at St. Michael's, Maryland, which I don't know how far away from D.C. that is.
Not a clue.
Any-
His net worth is about $5 million.
He likes nice clothes.
That is his vice, yes.
So they've been long distance relationship for 2 years.
2 years.
He pays for her rents. And what else is weird about this? Oh, they don't fuck.
Yeah. So she says she doesn't have sex before marriage. We're not entirely clear. Like if somebody's paying your rent and you're not boning them, like there's no like sex involved, that seems a little weird. Right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I agree.
I don't like. I think just having such a long-term relationship and not having sex is weird. Being in a relationship and someone paying for something, like that's just like can be part of a relationship. I think the sex is not relevant to the paying for a rent.
Yeah.
I think the weirder part of this relationship. Sorry, Brian. Do you want to go?
No, you can go ahead.
Because I think the weirder part of this relationship is that the Rodney has not told his wife, or not his wife, his family, his friends or family or anyone about this relationship.
Yeah.
So like, there's definitely something fishy. In like 2 episodes, we're gonna find out that this is one of many side pieces he has, and like, it's just like telegraphed from so far away, and it's supposed to be a surprise. And I'm just like, can we like not focus on these people? Like, it's just like I already know the end game.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Also, Rodney's voice is really, it's got an interesting tilt to it.
Yeah. He's definitely one of those people that comes off a little on the other fence.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But like, that doesn't mean anything.
Sure.
Let's see. He's got 2 houses, I guess, is the only real.
Well, yeah, he's got the lake house and the spot in D.C. And she flies out to D.C. And so the tension in relationship, Ronnie wants Desiree to finally move to the East Coast with him. But she's like, no, I don't live with someone until they put a ring on it. And he's like, well, he kind of just like doesn't answer. And then she's like, well, how about this? Why don't you like introduce me to some people? And then we go into he's trying to hide her. And he says that he thinks his family is going to judge her because what he says is rough around the edges. And he doesn't want to expose her to that type of judgment.
It's just, this is a weird power dynamic that's going on here. Like, I don't understand.
There's another thing where he like says, yeah, if she doesn't move to the East Coast, I guess I could just like stop paying her rent or something, and then she'd
Yeah.
have to. Like, definitely some weird power dynamics.
Gosh.
They're both playing off that though. She's like, yeah, I won't move in unless I get a ring on my finger, and then like he's just playing like, hey, you have to move in with me. Like it's really weird, but they're both playing a game of chess.
It's true. So as she comes off the plane, she says like, oh, you look like he is fine. Max, can you give me your best that he is fine line?
He is fine.
That sounds
Boo.
exactly the same.
Boo. Not good. Noah, give me your best. He is fine.
He is fine.
Also, this is great. Brian, what do you got?
He is fine.
I like that one.
That was fun.
I think that was better than your impression of it.
So, question for y'all. So let's say this show was probably taped in the past 8-9 months, probably something like that, right?
Sure.
Their relationship is obviously in the state. Somewhere along the line, they see the ability to apply to marrying millions and be like, hey, we got some crazy shit in our relationship. We should apply for this TV show. So we should be on it and expose all the crazy shit in our relationship.
I don't understand why you would want to be on the show ever.
That's-
Fame,
yeah.
glory, Instagram followers.
that is the confusing piece. Like, I can't understand why really any of these couples, beyond trying to cash in,
Like what? Like
doing
what
this.
are you paying these people where they've already have millions of dollars? Like what are you paying that? How much are you paying them for this? Make this worth it? And then is this like a forcing for some of these? It could be a forcing function to be like, okay, we gotta like figure out what this relationship really is. The show could like push it in a direction that didn't have like it was just meandering. Then like this will force it in one direction or the other.
seems like a healthy relationship. We can't solve this on our own. Let's get a cameraman in here.
And you get some Instagram followers. You know, you get some looks at your wine business. I don't know.
I'll when I slide into the DMs and Noni, I'll try to get more dirt.
I got one more. I got a question for you, Noah. What does AALHO stand for?
I don't know.
Max, what do you got?
African American lake house owner.
Yeah, way to go, Max. So like, yeah, she shows up at this lake house. She's like,
Yeah.
and she comes with this random acronym. I was like, what?
Also, she keeps saying like how he bought it for her. Her name isn't on that deed.
No way.
And then they ask him in an interview, "Hey, did you buy that for her?" And he gives a funny look and is like, "No, it's for me."
This is his Bankation house.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Vacation.
Yeah. You never heard Bankation before?
I've
I-
never. I just assumed what it meant.
No,
I mean,
I've never
you don't-
heard that.
You don't
portmanteau.
need. We need to get this portmanteau out there. Bankation. It's good.
Bankation.
It's a good one.
If I had a personal device on me right now, I would Google what things have the title of Bankation, but I don't. So someone else can go in the corner.
What happened to it?
Well, he just has his work phone, I think.
Oh,
So he doesn't want to be looking up Bankation on his work phone.
Nope, I'm not doing that.
they're not going to care.
Probably not. I agree. Yeah. So that's where that lake house is really nice though. Like,
It was great.
that was I'd like that lake house for sure.
Oh, totally.
What kind of lake house would we not want? If someone's got a lake house,
If-
it's always
if the
nice.
lake was like algae and gross and like maybe a swamp, like I don't know.
Then you got a pool. You got a pool at the lake house.
But then it's not a lake house; it's a swamp house.
Yeah, but like sometimes swamps and lakes, you can like there could be some line crossing there. We're like we're in Washington State. Like there's some great lakes here.
Oh,
like
yeah.
there like
No,
there
no, no,
aren't
those
really
they're
many
on the other side.
there aren't really
Other
many
than that too.
bad lakes here. But you go other parts of this country and you get some gross lakes. They use like this, they don't keep track of them. There's like companies that throw garbage. and
Who
shit in
knows how
them.
many
Like,
lakes there are out there? I can't keep track.
who knows?
They defunded that part of the government.
Yeah.
We don't know anymore.
Yeah. So that's that couple. Anyone?
I'm really excited about sort of the bonus couple we saw in this episode.
So we got Mr. Las Vegas.
Mr. Las Vegas, aka Brian.
Brian, he's 48. He lives with his parents. He does construction work. And Sean T was 45.
No. Gentile. So
Gentile?
take the word Gentile and
Oh,
make
yeah.
two L's and make it French. Gentile.
Oh, yeah. I was like, it's not how I wrote that down at all.
There you go.
So apparently this was season 1 couple where Chantil, I don't know, whatever.
You sound like you're saying like a Stargate character's name.
Am I not?
Yeah.
She left him at the altar. And
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Nuts.
Spoiler alert for season 1, I guess. Sorry about that.
Sorry, guys.
And he is like can't let it go at least at the point. He's in this denial phase of his of this, and he keeps messaging them, and they're somehow back on the show for like this coffee meetup where she's like, "It's done. Move on. Stop messaging me."
And then he's like, "So does that mean you'll go have coffee with me on Friday?"
Yeah,
And she's like, "No, dude, you're not getting it.
yeah. Well,
I'm moving on."
Yeah.
He's like, you're cheating on me? It's so bad.
I gotta say though, that felt like one of the most realist scenes we've seen on a TV show we've watched in a long time. Like it literally looked like he could not process that information. Like CPU overloaded. He was about to blow a fuse.
Yeah, if it wasn't for like his facial expressions, I'd be like, yeah, this is fake and like drummed up to like get him on season 2. But he was doing pretty well for it.
Like, yeah. I mean, it was clear on that drive over that like he was like messaging and sending voicemails and stuff. It's just like you can't. You're like super weak. They're not going to come back to you if you do that.
There's something wrong in this guy's head for sure. It's very clear very early on.
God damn it, Brian.
It's always the Bryants. Yeah. I think that's all the couples that got introduced in this.
Yeah, there's one couple on the season that they highlight, but they just show in like the season previews. It's a guy who looks like a Bitcoin millionaire. It's the best way to describe him. My guess is they live in like some Florida like McMansion community. But we'll find out. I'm doing a lot of judging just based off like the 10 seconds we got.
I mean, so on that note, thing that really pisses me off about these shows that we watch and is becoming a trend, I think, thanks to YouTube, is that the beginning of this show, they have like this season on for like 2 minutes. And it's terrible. I don't know who these people are. I don't care who they are. I just want you to like intro them in a really meaningful way. And it's just not. It just is the dumbest thing. It actively turns me off from watching the show.
Yeah.
Why do you blame this on YouTube?
Because YouTube, like, it's easy for somebody to throw up like a thing as an ad, and like the ad is the first 5 seconds or whatever, and trying to get them to watch something the first 5 seconds.
Right, so they don't skip it.
So they don't skip it. So like this is what they do is they'll just cram it at the front so that they can put this as an ad. And if you watch the whole thing, great.
But they're putting the whole 40-minute episode?
I don't know. I just blame YouTube because they'll do this for like trailers and stuff like that too. Like it's not necessarily like a 40-minute episode that they'll do that for. I don't know, but I blame YouTube for it.
I think there's one thing that's tough about like creating content these days, and that's like there's so much content out there that you have to try to hook people within like the first couple minutes. That's personally what I blame, is that like you're fighting for attention and you just have to do this and like put all this crazy drama in the first couple minutes. So then like you're like, oh, I can check out the rest of this.
I think minutes is a stretch. You need to do it within like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like if you're
But
being...
it's incomprehensible. Like I couldn't tell you anything about what happened in that season from the first 2 minutes.
It doesn't matter. It's just like gotta be like, oh, what's that? Like I gotta learn more about that. Like you don't have to understand it immediately to just be like, I want to learn more.
Yeah, exactly. I think the purple commercials do this super well. If you see their YouTube ads, like they're fun to watch and they make you like stick in by like within the first 5 seconds.
I'm just talking about the beginning of this and the beginning of many reality shows we've watched on like the VH1 or Lifetime or whatever channel we've been doing. Is like
It is common now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chris, we are connoisseurs of the format. You know, we only like the best. This show is not for us. This is for, you know, the plebes, the reality plebes out there. Not the sort of people who listen to our beautiful and wonderful podcast.
the people that are just channel surfing.
Right.
So should we get into the questions, or do we have any other minutia running in?
Yeah. Gotta talk about a certain drinking vessel. They show Desiree and Rodney on a video call, and she's drinking out of a wine glass. It's like a regular wine glass with a regular wine stem, except it's just a mason jar on top of it.
That's got to be more expensive than a regular wine glass, right?
I mean, I'm sure it's no more than $20.
But
Oh,
like,
it's much cheaper.
I feel like do you think that she bought that or he bought that for her?
Neither.
I don't care.
It was definitely a gift. They're actually $8.50. I looked it up.
Oh, there you go.
You looked it up already?
Yeah.
I looked something up that I gotta talk to you guys about. Okay, Bitcoin millionaire. He's from Palm Springs, aka the Florida of the West,
Ooh, it's pretty close.
and made his money in the tech sector.
Definitely Bitcoin.
They won't say Bitcoin, but it's
He's
Bitcoin.
also a rapper.
Oh no.
I was gonna save that one for my favorite minutia, but I've got some others.
Okay.
What is the worst human being on this show? Or who is? I feel like what is the wrong adjective there.
The producers?
They're not on it, technically.
Trying
I
to think.
I personally think Bill.
I think Rodney.
Rodney, really?
Yeah, Rodney is the one
Rodney's
who actually...
too shady and like won't marry this girl or figure out what's going on or won't intro this woman to friends and family. Like, he's the worst.
He hinted at like using his power dynamic to his benefit. That's shitty. Go fuck yourself, Rodney. Yes.
So there's a lot of characters that can contend. I'm going to throw a curveball here. I'm going to go with Gentil. She left the guy on the wedding day. Clearly, she had a lot of reservations before building up to that day. It would have been nice to be like, hey, let's stop this wedding thing and call it off. So I think I got to put her there.
That's fair. I agree. She's shitty.
Consider the alternative. What if she went through with it and was miserable?
Right. That's not good either. But why even just wait to the wedding day? Like, I'm sure she really tried to like say, you know, we can make this work. We can make this work. Like, I empathize with that. But she clearly screwed up Brian pretty good in the head.
Fair.
Brian, you want to give your reasons for what's his name?
Bill?
Bill.
Okay, so
Bill.
I'll make an argument against Rodney in that Rodney doesn't hide what he's about. Bill is clearly trying to hide what he's about, and he's doing like similar fucked up things. I mean, granted, he's also trying to merge the families. Oh,
We've went over this already about how the Bill power dynamics is way off.
Yeah,
So
but
like I think you could make a case for Bill, but I just think Rodney is shadier, so I think he's worse. But like you could definitely put Bill above him because like in terms of shading, like actual being in like this relationship, he's a little more fucked up.
they're both up there, and I also agree with your argument of like Gentile. Like, yeah, she's pretty messed up.
To throw a little change up in here, I think if Reese Record got more airtime, he might start to climb up. Because like the 2 minutes he had on, Noni has a very reasonable thing about like their friends hanging out or her introducing him to some of her friends, and he was like so off put by that idea that I feel like he's got some real shitbag tools in that toolbox to come out.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of, what's your most baffling / cringeworthy moment? Which that's pretty baffling right there. I think the other most cringeworthy moment is definitely when Bill was on stage and like showing off what's her name's bra. That was pretty.
Yeah.
That was
Brianna.
pretty cringeworthy. Yeah.
Not great.
I feel like another contender could be the diner with Brian and Gentile.
Yeah, when he's not processing that she's done. Not great.
That was pretty cringy.
Yeah. That's an excellent short list.
Anyone else got any contenders?
I think by far is when Bill pulls a little bit on Brianna's shirt to show her rainbow bra at the party for her. That's just it really takes the cake.
No, yeah. Let's do minor minutia. Get any? I have a couple minor minutia's.
Have at it.
We've got. I think we have. I can never remember her name for some reason. Brianna, her sister, had tattoos on her collarbone that said "beautiful" and "faith" on one on each collarbone, which like did not look great. To be honest.
It was
really,
a choice.
really ruined that like cleavage.
Works for her.
I mean, you could definitely cover them up. So I guess it's not the worst tattoo in the world. But
Yeah. Some more minor minutia. Bill. So we talked about motivations for doing the show. He just built a Virgin hotel in Dallas. Fairly certain the whole purpose of the show is to get free marketing for his new Virgin hotel in Dallas.
Oh,
since
yeah.
He's a real estate developer.
yeah, I mean that's the only reason I see being on the show is you get free quote unquote advertisement. Even though this is probably a lot of work to be on the show, it's not like.
Yeah, and it's lifetime.
And it's like it's really exposing your whole life. It's not like, so I don't think call it free. It's not free.
Totally fair.
Easier, advertisement. Brian, you got one?
Yeah. So when Rodney and Desiree are at the lake house and she's peering through this telescope, Rodney's like kind of grinding up on her. They're both grinding up on each other. The sexual tension's there. And it was so good and a little cringy.
Yeah. I mean, in that point, we didn't know they weren't having sex.
Yeah. So at that point, it was like very innocent flirtation. And then now afterwards, it's like, man, I would do anything to just be with you right now.
I mean, he flew her out here, so.
Yeah. No, that was a great piece of camera work by the cameraman standing there, seeing that she's bent over 90 degrees and he's just right up, pressed up against there. Like,
do you think that cameraman just quit immediately? He's like, all right, I can't do any better. I'm out. See ya.
they probably did. They're like, we got all the footage we need, guys. We're done for the day.
I mean, speaking of Desiree, I have another one where Desiree was using the bathtub and comes out of the bathtub and says like something to the effect of like, you had fun time in the tub. It's a good thing I had some alone time since we're not having sex. Wink, wink to the camera.
Yeah. I don't get that whole philosophy of that. You got to stay pure, but you know what?
I mean, she's been divorced twice.
Yeah,
so she's not very pure.
That especially makes it odd to me of like, I can understand it the first time, but you've already been married twice.
I feel like from her perspective, it makes a little more sense since they're like long distance. They've been going out for a long time.
Sure.
And she's kind of hidden from his life and world. Like,
I definitely understand not wanting to marry up until he reveals her existence.
But zero sex.
yeah. I don't know.
So, do you think their definition of sex only means?
I'm telling you, there's definitely some hand jobs going on for sure. 100%.
Well, so they ask her in an interview, so does that mean you do everything but sex? She says, not everything. Wink.
Wink.
So what is not everything?
Maybe that's what Ronnie gets out of it, right? Like, normal sex, sometimes easier to get than the wink stuff. Maybe
butt
it's just a
sex?
wink.
Do you like when like they keep winking on your penis and it
Max, do you have a minor minutia you want to go over?
It's called a Winklevoss.
wow, that was Bitcoin Bros strike again.
That was A level.
Wow. Do I have one? Yeah, I do. So the way this episode ends is Bill's ex-wife is at the party and runs into Bill's new girlfriend's mom. Bill says, "Isn't she beautiful?" And the ex-wife says, "On the outside."
Oh,
Bazinga.
Real shady.
real shade. Max, give me your drinking rule for this show.
Every time you see a weird power dynamic in play, go out to the store and buy something called Slivovitz.
Stop watching the show.
Yeah, stop watching the show. Go out and buy this sort of plum wine called Slivovitz.
This is a real wine?
It's a real thing.
Slivovitz.
Or Slivovitz.
I got one. Every time you see like affection, like some sort of kiss or like, some sort of pelvic interaction on a telescope. You
Every
should anything like that. Take a sip. Noah, you got anything?
Yeah. I like my drinking game for this. It's a bit more practical. Every time they say the word millions, take a drink, and shockingly, they don't use it like too much. They use it just enough where I think you can get some good sips in.
Brian, you got one?
I don't have one right now.
Boo.
I tried.
Every time Brian's on the screen, take a drink.
No, you just gotta finish your drink at that point. 'Cause
Yeah.
Every time they have an arborist.
So our last question, and the one we're least qualified to actually answer: what is the production schedule for this show?
Who cares?
This is what I was looking at. So season 1 premiered July 10th, 2019. This premiered August 9th. So it can't be that they had a whole lot of time. Like this must be a couple months of late 2019, early 2020. Right? Like there can't be that many. It can't be that long.
Proposal. Somebody internet stalks and figures out when Bree's birthday is. I'm sure she has an Instagram.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You'll look that up on your work phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's using a Facebook product. It's totally fine.
I'm not putting in bankcation versus typing first names on the phone.
I have a question for you guys. So we were talking about sort of this genre of shows where one person is rich, one person is, foreign, one person is young. What are some other twists we can think of for this?
In today's day and age, one person's white, one person's not white.
Sure.
So
What about
cursory bankcation Googling brings up a lot of porn.
that doesn't surprise me very much.
A lot of bang bros coming up. I don't know.
Noah seems to have found something of interest. Is that true?
No,
Oh.
it was a false alarm.
Never mind, guys.
Like I have Brianna's last name. That was pretty easy to come by, but her last name is very common.
You found another person with a different.
Yeah, it was like we got married in 2017. I'm like, what? Wait,
Yeah.
and so
Okay.
take it back.
All right, here we go. Urban Dictionary has a definition for bankation. When you go on vacation specifically to have a one-night stand with a certain person. There you go. Bankation.
It's interesting that they qualify with a certain person. Like that implies that you are flying to this one place to bang one specific person only for one night.
But the thing is that bankation, this has 1 upvote and 4 downvotes. So like,
Oh, yeah. I think that is a far too narrow. A bankation could just be, we went to Hawaii and we're fucking every day.
Every day.
There's another definition that's more broad, but has 0 upvotes or downvotes.
Tell me about it.
When someone takes a trip with the main goal of having sex with someone.
Yeah, sure.
So like anyone could have a bankation there.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to Cancun, that's just a bankation, right?
I've gone to Cancun with a lot of people in this room.
And it was a bankation. I mean, obviously there are exceptions.
I did definitely get banged up while I was there.
What about what was that guy's name that we met when you were really
Fat
drunk?
Frankie? No.
It was something Tony, I think.
Yeah, Fat Tony.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we met a guy named Fat Tony at this poolside bar. He was a bouncer at a titty club, as he called it, in New Jersey. He had been taking vodka shots literally the entire day. So like we ran into him the other day, the day after this, and he did not recognize us at all. Fat Tony, if you're out there, man, you inspire me.
Inspires all of us. So Bill and Brianna have been dating at least since she was 19.
That's not great.
Like I'm still getting to like her birthday date. But yeah, they go back at least a bit. Shockingly, Bill on his Instagram doesn't have but I can tell pretty quickly, a picture from that party night, which I'm surprised by.
Well, in any case, I think the production schedule on this is that it was filmed during one of the days of the year, maybe multiple of them.
Yeah, well, whatever. Brian, you got anything?
No, I was currently thinking about like, is there a limit to like a vacation? Like, could I just go to like some random city in Ohio and be like, this is a vacation?
I mean, as long as there's a hot girl in that photo, sure.
Okay.
Ready for ratings, or do we have to wait
Yeah.
for Noah?
I've never been more ready in my life, Chris.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my homework, but
Well, after ratings, maybe we go back to the homework.
Yeah.
Max, what do you got for me?
Bottom third, middle of the bottom. Boy, is it boring. None of these people are interesting. But I didn't truly despise it. I was just bored.
Brian, what do you got for me?
I'm thinking middle, third, bottom of the middle. I think it was interesting enough, like other like dating shows like 90 Day Fiance. It's very cringy, which I kind of like.
Sure.
I struggle with this one. I think it belongs in the bottom, but I found myself enjoying it a little more than I thought I would. It's also kind of unclear how like real these kind of things are, which I think definitely it kind of affects how I feel and how these shows kind of play out.
Sure.
I'm still gonna put it on the bottom. I don't have any faith that this is real or that the show gets more interesting, and I don't really want to watch any more. I don't care. So that's where it's gonna stay. No, what do you got for me?
I got a bombshell after my rating. So I'm putting it straight in the middle. I found the show actually, I think, more entertaining than some of the pod crew. I think like the mixing around the different couples kept the pace moving. I actually didn't find myself as bored compared to some shows because there was just constant movement with the storylines. I didn't like that they did the MTV like before the commercial, do the same thing after the commercial. I hate that editing, so I'm putting this in the straight middle for me because it actually kept my attention, which is quite hard.
All right, there you go.
So
What I need to know what the bombshell is.
in the bombshell. So Bill is a repeat reality TV star.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Is
him
he on Indian matchmaking?
that would have been great.
No, although Seema really hit it big this week with Kamala.
So yeah, Bill was on The Real Housewives of Dallas with his ex on Bravo, and so that's kind of how we got into the RTCU. And then I'm guessing now how this makes more sense and like how he gets into this show.
The reality TV cinematic universe?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
What?
That's definitely RTCU.
And
But
so
what about RTC? You can't. People, army brats are going to be so annoyed at you.
yeah,
No, that's
true.
ROTC.
Yeah, that is ROTC. But I feel like that's what gets him into.
I
Just-
mean,
That's the gateway drug.
so
Yeah.
that's also kind of, I think, a negative for this show is that they're trying to pull in the people from that show into this show by having this stupid relationship on it.
No, but counterpoint,
What
like
is
the
this,
challenge
a
is like
crossover episode?
Yeah. They're like, hey, remember Bill from this, and since Kathleen's in the show, because she's the real housewife, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Is there a Real Housewives of Seattle? Is that a next
I
week's
don't-
pod?
I hope to
think
God
so.
not.
I doubt it.
Our cattiness is not really television.
Do we need to have a Real Housewives month?
No. Do we need to have a Max doesn't attend month?
Oh, also, it it's unclear if they were also in season 1, Bill and Bree. I don't think so. I think it was just a false flag on my part.
All right.
Before we move on, so like the show's called Marrying Millions. We know one couple in season 1 tried to get married. But is everyone in the show gonna get married? Like, is this like lead up to a marriage? Like, when you sign up for the show, are you signing up saying you're gonna get married?
I think you keep bringing it up during production, and it has no real bearing on your life.
So look, this precludes people that are already married, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just weird. I don't get it.
I mean, it's not married millions; it's marrying millions.
Yeah, but these people aren't even like engaged. None of them are engaged. So they're not marrying anyone. They're just dating.
I'm not the producer. I didn't choose this show.
I'm just saying.
Chris.
Hey, Seattle month, slim pickings in Seattle month.
No kidding.
That was good. So I do have one fact to check in on. They started dating when she was 18.
That's not good.
Sounds like a grooming situation, maybe.
That's not good at all.
Bill, you're coming back to the top of the worst person.
Bill, more details come out. Bill could be a worse person for sure.
Could be.
Anyone else been watching anything good?
I'm watching something on HBO called I May Destroy You. It's kind of about the Black Caribbean British experience. It's good. It's interesting.
I don't understand what the show is.
Oh, have you tried watching it?
No, I don't know. Like the way you described it.
Yeah, no,
don't
I
know.
agree. There is a thing that happens at the end of the first episode that sort of is what the entire show is about, but I don't want to spoil it.
Is it a documentary or is it
No,
like
no. It's a drama.
Okay.
It's kind of a comedy,
A
tragic
dramedy?
drama.
Dramedy?
Yeah.
I think I've been watching I watched The Dragon Prince Netflix.
You mentioned it last week.
Okay, good. I don't remember last week. What happened last week?
House hunting.
Well, I feel like I didn't watch the whole thing. I caught up and it was still really good. So Courage still +1 on The Dragon Prince. And I've been watching old seasons of Survivor still. That's kind of
What season are you up to?
I jump all. I've been in the teens really. I've watched a lot of the I'm in the middle of season 15 or 14. They're in China. Not very good. But the one where they're in Africa, that's a good one. Season 17 or something.
Nice. I've been rewatching The Office. I'm going to binge from one to end.
Are you listening to the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's why I'm watching it.
But are they doing like weekly podcasts or is it like
I'm not certain. I'm not listening to the podcast enough to know yet, and have not kept track of when they're publishing new episodes. So I'm doing that. Been actually catching up on Ugly Delicious. Like I never actually gave it the real shot, and now that I am, it's very good.
gotta put in the queue?
I would not put it as reality. It's much more document.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not on the queue.
Yeah, and I want to put it there.
It's in the Who Put This On spinoff where all we do is docu series.
Yeah, and then I just finished Schitt's Creek today, but season 5, 'cause that's what we got in America. Got to wait for season 6 to come out next year on the Netflix.
Well, you just need to have access to the
CBC.
CBC or
Got to
whatever.
get some of that Canadian TV.
Brian, you have anything you've been watching?
So I've been continuing to watch Lost, but then I dipped into like season 1 of The Umbrella Academy.
Oh.
Like, you watched season 1?
I have some thoughts about it, but continue.
I mean, I thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't like super exciting yet, but it was enough that like I kept my attention. So maybe I'll keep going with it. Like, season 2 seemed to get like good reviews.
I think season 1, episode 1 really captured me. I was so underwhelmed by the rest of season 1, but I should also preface this by saying that this was like 2 days after I was at an Indian wedding and I had awful gastrointestinal issues. So I was just shitting my ass off and watching this show.
So it wasn't good poop material. Like you could have been watching this on the phone on the toilet and good to go, but no, it's not good for that.
You know what it is? A lot of the actors overact, and B, it's one of these shows where they try and force interactions between every goddamn character, even when they have nothing in common, and it's boring, and it could be half the length.
But what about season 2, Max?
Everyone I know who's watched it said it was okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to shit on
No,
your show. It is the most time waste I think I've spent in like 2019.
So is it a good side TV while you're doing other stuff?
Yes, I would agree with
Like
that.
I've been playing Slay the Spire and like trying to watch stuff because but in general I'm playing Slay the Spire and not like watching it all that intensely.
Yeah, I think this is perfect side television content if you've run out of quality stuff.
Seasons of Survivor to watch.
Yeah.
but that's honestly what I was looking for. And also, like, yeah, you should like just say your opinion. Like, I just started the thing. I'm not like committed yet.
All right.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. You can find us, not next week, but the following week, we're going to be doing Real World Seattle. So
Next
you
week we're on our
wanna-
bankcation.
We haven't decided what we're doing next week yet. So as
Brian
usual.
has.
Oh, there is one other thing I wanted to just quickly chat about, if that's
Sure.
okay. I finished up Indian matchmaking, and I have a lot of thoughts.
This is your forum.
Have any of you finished it?
Yeah.
All of us have finished it.
There's no resolution. What the fuck?
Yeah. Terrible. It's awful.
Fuck that shit. Even Akshay didn't end up getting married.
Wait, I thought they made it seem like he got married.
No, they did the like pre-ceremony where they
Did you-
trade the jewels, but it wasn't the full marriage.
But you didn't go Google see if he actually got married. You don't.
No,
Like, we don't.
They did. No, I did. They did not get married.
Oh.
There was something in her family history that they didn't tell the other ones about, and they didn't like that.
I feel like it is the most PC show for one of the most fucked up things for people to go through.
Yeah.
So
And there's no
I'm not entirely
resolution.
surprised. Yeah, it's really weird. Like when you get to episode like 5 or 6, and you're like, what happened to those cool people we just saw? And like they went on a date and they liked him. Well, like what happened?
Yeah.
You just don't know. It's just done.
It's not like they're setting up a season 2.
I guarantee you there's going to be a season 2.
No,
though.
but I don't think it's going to pick up on the same people.
It might. I don't think so, but it might.
Maybe.
What if this is just like a Marie Kondo thing where they only just get one season? That's it. It's just quick advertising.
Oh yeah, is that?
I haven't heard of a second season.
I
Have
definitely
you?
haven't heard of a second season, but I feel like it could happen.
Max, when you watched it, did you notice the whole shade to the other Indian matchmaker?
Gita?
Yeah, I don't know what her name was.
Yeah, I don't really.
It's just like it was all a big commercial for her.
Yeah.
She was like, I give the best matches. Look at all these people finding matches. Look, we sent this other matchmaker, and this
Yeah.
person like didn't find the match and like found out he was divorced. Scandalous. You got to go back to Sita or whatever her name is.
Seema. It's
Seema.
from Mumbai.
Yeah. So we probably should we did talk about it a little bit more, but we didn't we don't have a main episode about how like shitty the show was. Because
Yeah.
the first episode was hard to tell. But I think that overall it's kind of shitty overall. Like in general.
Yeah.
And it's not a great it's very entertaining, but it's like a shitty person that's just like which is entertaining, which is certainly possible. All right. Anyway, you can find us on Twitter at @whowiththesong. You can find us on Facebook.com/whowiththesong. You can ask questions and suggestions at whowiththesong@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.
Ba 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 ba. Baran.
The Switch, it does nothing.